Hey everyone, so recently YJ has released a couple new versions of the MGC 4x4. One is like a micro speed actuator version. I don't really know what that is. Obviously, I guess it'll speed up the cube. But that being said, I have it along with some other versions of the MGC 4x4. So in this video, I'll just try them out, compare them, let you guys know what I think is the best, if any of them are worth buying. And yeah, that's basically it. Huge thank you to picubeshop for sending me these so that I can make this video. I definitely would not have been able to buy all these cubes. So huge thank you to them for sending me them for free. Thank you, picubeshop. Alright, this is a pretty big package. There's a lot of 4x4s in here. I love 4x4s. Let's go. Alright, so we have a normal standard version, a Coremag version, we have a UV version, and a speed micro actuator version. We'll find out what that is together. So yeah, we're starting with the normal version here. Alright, yeah, this feels like a normal MGC. Oh my god. I do not love this out of the box. It's very, very tight, and it doesn't feel that good to turn. I'm getting a lot of catches, and it's just like a very blocky feeling. It's not particularly enjoyable, but it is a brand new out of the box standard version, so you kind of can't expect that much. Let's open up the Coremag version. Alright, yeah, this is definitely heavier, but this is a pretty light cube, so the weight is not really an issue. Yeah, okay, this is a lot better out of the box. But obviously it doesn't just have the core magnets, it also is set up, so it's not really a fair comparison. Out of the box, this is a lot nicer than just the normal version. The UV version is probably going to be the exact same as the normal one in terms of how it turns, except it'll obviously have UV coating on the outside. But I don't expect it to feel different at all because it is the exact same piece design, which is kind of one of my gripes about this. I do wish YJ had taken, I mean, how long ago was this originally released? It was like 2019 or something. So I do wish they had taken these past, 5 years to update their piece design and release like a version 2 that was like significantly better, rather than just little UV coating. Alright, UV coated. I can tell the difference. It does feel a lot grippier, but like I expected, the turning feels the exact same. Last and possibly most exciting is this speed micro actuator version. Yeah, as you can see, a much more compact box design, which I do like because that is less space, less waste. Wow, okay. Well, the whatever it is definitely makes a difference. I'm still getting some catches out of the box, but it is definitely way, way faster out of the box. And it's kind of just moving a lot freer. Like, even though I'm still getting some catches, well, actually, I don't know, because it does feel like a little faster, but other than that, it honestly feels almost exactly the same. So out of the box, I'm not sure why you would get this when you can just speed the normal one up with a bit of lube. But yeah, maybe after setup the difference will be more noticeable. My out of the box ranking is that the magnetic core one is the best, but it does come set up by picube, so it's not really a fair comparison to the totally unset up out of the box MGCs. I would say the UV version is second best because honestly, I don't have a huge preference between UV and glossy, but I do like the feel of this UV coating a little more. Third place I would say is the base MGC out of the box, and then fourth is the micro speed actuator because it just feels too similar for me to like out of the box say that it's better and worth the extra like $12. But I'm gonna set all these up, do a bunch of solves on all of them, and then I'll let you know if my opinion on them, especially this one, changes. But before I do that, I am gonna pop this one open and see what the speed micro actuator really is. The speed micro actuator is this very small ring with 6 ball bearings on it that goes in between the screw and the spring. You can kind of see the idea that when the spring turns or the screw is turning, it's turning on that ball bearing rather than just the screw turning on the spring itself. So theoretically that is reducing friction, which is kind of a similar idea to maglev. It's just executed differently. But I'm honestly a little confused because when the way 4x4s work is the spring and the screw is in here and this whole thing is stationary, but then this piece around here is what's actually turning. But you can see how this piece will lock in there like that, and because of those like little pegs there, this does not move. And then the screw and the spring and the thingy, they all screw into the core, going through this outer plastic like shell. But then around this is this little piece, and that's what actually turns. When you turn a face of a 4x4, it's this thing that's turning. The screw and the spring do not move, and this outer thing or inner thing, whatever this piece is called, it does not move as well. So when you're turning the 4x4, you're turning that. Alright, so now I have it assembled other than the white centers, and you can see what I mean when watch this little thing that sticks up. I don't know what to call it. And then also you can see those that little scratch on the screw or whatever. Watch those and see how that doesn't move when I turn the face. If you look under, you can see that little gold ring. It's not turning. It's not being affected. Okay, so I tried to come up with like any reasoning for why the speed actuator might be like actually effective and like doing something, and I just can't. I think it's totally useless. It definitely is not reducing friction, and my only theory was that it was like compressing the spring just a little bit, but like that would slow the cube down. There's no reason for YJ to have released this because it is completely useless. That's my opinion on it. I talked with some friends about, you know, maybe what the point of it was, and there's just, the conclusion is that it's useless and that it literally does not do anything. And I think the reason why it felt a little faster out of the box was because it was just a bit looser. Because if we compare the tensions, this standard one is pretty tight out of the box, and being tight is gonna make the pieces like, you know, closer together, which will make it harder to turn fast. Whereas this one is a lot looser out of the box. Like, just look at that comparison. So I think after I set these up and like make the tensions basically even between these two cubes, I think they're gonna feel exactly the same, even though this one is like $12 more expensive. So I already wasn't happy with YJ that they were releasing this instead of updated piece design, but now I'm really not happy with YJ because I had my doubts before receiving this. But now that I've received it and taken it all apart and talked with people about it, that little thing on the screw does not do anything at all. And so it's definitely just a cash grab. Alright, to test my theory that it was just tensions, I loosened this standard one. You can see it's a lot looser now. Pretty similar to this one, the actuator one. And it feels a lot faster now and a lot more airy. The standard one does still feel like a little sandier than the actuator one. And I do feel like it catches a little more, but like with a little bit of lube, these two are going to feel the exact same. I was about to start setting up these cubes when I realized there actually was one more thing making them different besides the tensions, and that's the internal plastic. This is the actuator version. As you can see, it has primary plastic, whereas the standard version has white plastic on the internals. And the core mag and the UV coated ones, you can see how tight it is out of the box. They also have white internals, and I think that's why this one feels sandier, and I think that's the only difference, or at least the main difference for why these two feel slightly different, is that out of the box, this one was a lot looser than this one, and the internal plastic is different, which is why this one feels less sandy. So yeah, if you want to pay $12 extra for primary plastic on your internals instead of white, that's what YJ is giving you, because this speed actuator thing is literally useless. I think YJ knows that the primary plastic is having a lot more of an effect on the cubes turning than their little micro speed actuator. Alright, so I've had some time with these MGCs now. I've done some solves on all of them after some setup, and now I'm going to say which ones I think are the best and which ones you absolutely should not buy. I do think the core magnet version is the best. MGCs are hard to set up. Like, it was really tricky to get the tensions right, and I like how the ones I set up feel, but I also like how the one picube setup feels. And it also has core magnets, which helps you not lock up and catch as much, which for me is a pretty big problem on the MGC. And yeah, so I think this one is the best. And I didn't actually set up the UV one because it's the exact same as the normal one, except for the outside texture. So I know if I set it up, it would feel the exact same as this one. The only difference would be that this is UV and this is glossy plastic. But I do like the way this UV coating feels, so I'm going to say it's slightly better than the normal one. But the normal one is definitely third place because I hate the speed actuator one. It is $12 more for primary plastic and something that literally does not work, even though it's the main selling point for the cube. Honestly, they're equal. They're equal after setup. Out of the box, this one felt better, but after setup, they're really equal. And so paying $12 more for primary plastic and a lie is just not worth it. And I am not happy with YJ for releasing this because, as I showed earlier in this video, the micro speed actuator doesn't do anything. So yeah, if you have the money for it and you really like the MGC and you don't like the VIN, I would recommend getting the picube core magnet MGC. Overall, like considering all 4x4s, I'd recommend the picube core magnet VIN, not the MGC. But like I said, if you're a VIN hater and you just don't do well on it the way you do well on MGCs, then sure, get the picube MGC. Otherwise, I'd say get the picube VIN. But if you don't have the money for that, would I recommend the UV coated version, even though I said it's second best? No, just buy a VIN. The standard VIN is $25. I don't remember, I think the UV coated MGC is also $25, but the performance on the VIN is just way better out of the box and after setup, and so I would just recommend a VIN over a normal MGC pretty much all the time. But yeah, the picube one is the best, and I'm not just saying that because they sent these to me to try out. I'm saying that because it's the truth. The rest of these are just not that good, but the picube one, I do like it. So yeah, that's my video on all these cubes. Do not buy the micro speed actuator one. You're wasting $12. Just buy a VIN, or get something from picubeshop. Thanks for watching.